Well, hello. I hope you're doing incredible. As usual, I always greet you that way because I really do hope you're doing incredible. I hope you're kicking butt and loving life. Welcome to part three of the series of developing relationships, powerful relationships within a culture of honor. And I hope you're finding some value in this. And hope you'll hang in there with me through all the lessons because I really believe this is probably one of the great untaught subjects of relational marketing businesses, and that is the importance of developing powerful relationships. And what I want to talk about today is the constant battle that goes on in our lives between fear and love. Right? You've probably heard the parable of every one of us has two dogs in us. There's a good dog, happy dog, loving dog, caring dog, and then there's the bad dog, mean dog, crazy dog, fearful dog. And the question is well, which dog runs your life and which dog wins the fight? They're constantly battling for control within your soul. Who wins? And the answer is the one you feed. Right? They say the grass is always green on the other side. Nope, the grass is greener where you water it. So what we're going to talk about here is this constant battle between fear and love, because there seems to be a large amount of confusion on this thing with fear specifically. And as a person that loves Jesus, I think one of the greatest battles I have with people in the Christian world, people that I would call maybe more religious than they are following the teachings of Jesus. But the difference is that people think we're supposed to fear God. And it says in the Bible, fear God. But it also says that fear and faith cannot coexist. It also says that perfect love casts out fear. I find it very interesting that God would want us to try to develop an incredibly intimate, deep relationship, but be afraid of Him. I think there's a word called respect. I think there's a word called awe. I think there's a word called reverence. And that's really from the heart of gratefulness, not from the heart of fear. As young children, we kind of grew up with this fear teaching thing, right? If I cry and I make tears and I make loud enough disappointment, I'm going to get what I want. And so we learned this tactic as attempts to control people. And in reality, it doesn't work. It just gives you what we call false harmony. False harmony. And so what we're going to try to drive on tonight is what do you do? What do you do when you face fear? What do you do when you face anger? I believe there's like 3 or 4 basic reactions. 1, fight. Number 2, run away. Number 3, freeze. And those are the 3 powerless options. Or 4, try to climb inside of the mind of the person that you're dealing with and figure out what's the source of this. Because we know one thing, hurting people hurt people. And someone's coming at you or being disrespectful, dishonorable, what's the pain in their life? And if I come to grips with the pain in life, then maybe I would trade judgment for empathy, and I'll begin to connect with them in a way that we can reboot their identity, reboot their self-image, reboot how they think of themselves so they can go out and impact people in a positive way versus continuing to run their life by fear. So what happens is when we run into it, what are we going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to fight? Are you going to run? Are you going to freeze? Those are usually your options. If you run, it comes back later. It's only a temporary hold. Some people decide to fight, and by that I mean I'm going to take control of you. I'm the boss. Only one of us gets to be in control here, and today it's me, because I'm the man, or I'm your father, or I'm your mother, or your father's not home and I'm here, so I am in control and you are not, and you will yield to me. And unfortunately, that is a very powerless form of leadership. Fear, hinting, are the most cowardly form of leadership. To just like drop things out and see if they pick it up, or to use punishment techniques. Most people have learned tools like punishment, threatening, manipulation, removing freedoms, putting them on probation, withholding love, silent treatments. I'm fine. Or it's not going the way I wanted to, so I'm going to leave. And I'm going to leave forever if you don't get it right. And they threaten complete abandonment. Or maybe they just leave for a few hours. You figured out I'm going to go blah, blah, blah. And it's very common. Now, guys, if we're in quality relationships with people, we can't have that mindset. We cannot have the tools of powerless. It is not your job to control anybody. It is not your job to make people act a certain way. It is your job to stay consistent as a powerful, loving force in the world. Because love does conquer all things. The problem is, guys, if we don't figure this out and we take this to our kids, I have young adult children. And I'll be honest with you, I learned to live my life under a concept of fear and punishment. That's how my father was. That's how my mentors were. And so that's what I was. And it wasn't until I realized that I'm either going to run a man's economy or God's economy. And you may not have the same faith as I, but let me have mine for a moment. God's economy says this: I love you. I trust you. And I have a plan even when you fail. I'm not afraid of your mistakes. So why are you being afraid of your mistakes? I love you. And the story of the prodigal son is so beautifully told. As the son gave everything away and blew everything, the father ran off the porch, put his robe around him, put the ring on him, and said, I love you, without the son saying anything. That is symbolic of the love of the father. So why would we be afraid of this? If we're afraid, we wouldn't have the courage to go back home and connect. So in order to make this happen, you have to train yourselves. Because unfortunately, most of your actions are very instinctive. They're just like, and that's why they seem natural. But to change from withdrawing or anger or that look, or I'm not going to touch you, or I'm not going to be present with you, or I'm not going to make you dinner, or I'm not going to eat dinner with you, or I'm not, whatever the deal is, I'm leaving, right? And you can, chase me if you want, this whole relationship manipulation thing. It's wrong. So we know that we can react without thinking, but you cannot respond without training. And this to me became the realization is that I can react because I already know how to. But reaction typically gets the best of me. When I respond, it's a result of training. I've prepared for these moments. I've come full circle. And I'm not saying I got it all figured out because I'm not. I'm just working on it just like any of you are. But I want to be able to respond when things don't go the way I want them to versus react. I want to be able to communicate that I am protecting this relationship, that you are important to me, and that I'm not mad and you can't make me do something. You may do something that hurts my feelings, but you cannot make me turn my love off. You cannot make me abandon this friendship. I might, but you can't make me. You're not in control of that. Powerful people are not slaves to their instincts. Powerful people are able to respond versus react. When we partner with the spirit of love as compared to the spirit of fear, then we're able to have a foundation. Everything is about love. It's not about fear. It's not about punishment. Fear is anger. Anger is fear. I'm not afraid and I'm not mad. I am partnering with the spirit of love. Why? Because that's what I want in my relationship. I want you to know that I love you. I want you to know that you're loved. I want you to know that you're important, that you're powerful. God gave us that in from the very beginning, and that's what it all boils down to is am I able to communicate love in your love language? And that's why we spent the last training on connection versus disconnection. That's why we talked about the 5 love languages. We talked about the strength in learning to be vulnerable, to respond versus react. That's what it comes down to. You see, the Bible reveals a God that loves us regardless of our actions. And that is a real game changer for a lot of people because people say, well, if that's the case, why wouldn't people just go out and be crazy? What a weird thing to say, isn't it? To think that the only reason we behave in an honorable way is because we might be punished if we don't. Where's the trust in that? Where's the belief in human nature? Where's the belief in free will that I will choose good over bad? I will choose honor over dishonor. I will choose love and respect over fear and condemnation. Why? Because that's what most of us have been taught most of our life. But in reality, only thing you get out of condemnation is false harmony. You really don't get it. The reality is that as we moved into this partnership with love, we move into a place where the pain or the fear of pain no longer controls you. I don't need to freak out. I don't need to be in control. What I need to do is communicate to you, I see you. I understand you. You're important to me. This relationship's important to me. And we're going to find a way to powerfully work through this. Fear and love have opposite agendas, and you have to decide what side of this argument you're working from. It's to me, it's like, are you pursuing connection or disconnection? Are you going to choose punishment and fear, or are you going to choose love and restoration? Because All I'm going to try to do is work on protecting our connection. That if you know my heart, then you'll listen to my words. If you don't know my heart, then my words will not fall on the ears that they need to. It is my job to control me. It is not my job to control you. And the deeper we go with that, the more we begin to realize that all we're going to do is protect and build our connection. Two keys: protect and build. I'm going to protect it and I'm going to build it. I'm going to give you 5 keys to doing this. You're going to need to develop some skill sets to protect and to build. They could be together, but in reality, I'm not just wanting to hold on to it. I want to expand it. I want a massive magnification of a loving, caring, trusting, deep relationship, because I know that can go somewhere. So number 1, we've got to learn how to communicate love in the language that people comprehend. We talked about that in the last chapter. I'm not going to spend a lot of time there, but number 1, you've got to speak their language. If you don't speak the language, your chance of getting there. Number 2, you need to make sure, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that you let them know that you love them. Leave no doubt that they're important to you. Leave no doubt that you care for them. Leave no doubt that the relationship is not up for sale. It is not at risk, right? So in doing so, we can begin to move towards the ultimate goal of connection. We just have a difference of opinion. We have a different filter. We're seeing things. We're feeling things. Things are happening in a way as a result of maybe things in our own life. So we're going to work through it, but we're interested in protecting and nurturing and building, not looking for a reason to be pissed off and I'm right, you're wrong, and I get to control, and now you get to be punished, and I will exercise the punishment based on what I think, and all that BS that just basically leads to a lot of bitterness and a lot of resentment. The third key is to be open to feedback, okay? And what do I mean by that? Be willing to ask, how am I doing? How am I doing? Be willing to ask that. Am I speaking your language? Do you feel loved by me? Am I seeing you? Am I hearing? Am I missing something? And you can't ask it when you're having a big argument. You ask it all the time. If you got a buddy in your life, in your business, in your job somewhere, and things aren't feeling right, say, "Are we okay? Give me some honest feedback. Am I doing something here that's causing a reaction in you? Is there something I need to be aware of? Because you're important to me." And that isn't just a lovey-dovey, thing you only say to your spouse. It's like you say to your bros and your buddies. Because you want to know, you got to be open to feedback, right? You have to be. You have to be. And then the fourth key is to learn how to respond when you're hurt without blaming. We'll probably spend a whole section on this subject in itself. But to learn how to respond versus react in a way that isn't blaming, name-calling, or condescending. You make me so mad. No more. Right? You're a mean person when you do this. That's name-calling. That's blaming. You need to learn to be able to say, this is what's going on inside of me when this happens. This is how I feel. This is how I need to feel. You didn't make me feel. This is how I'm feeling. This is how I need to feel. This is what's going on inside of me. Now, the first time I did this, first 20 times I did this, I felt like such a softie. In fact, I even done it with a few guys that were just so powerless that they started calling me names. I won't even use the words, but they were strong, negative words, calling me the biggest. You can make up your own words, but coward in the world, because I wasn't going to respond with anger and bitterness and name calling. I said, I want you to know what's going on inside of me. Oh, blah, 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 blah. They just pound on me some more and say, you know what? I am not going to participate in this conversation until you can learn to communicate with me in a powerful, encouraging way. And until then, I'm just going to have to take a break and create some space. And they would get mad, then start texting and blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to get off my position of honor. I'm going to address what's going on inside of me without blaming you. And when you learn to do this, guys, then you're showing someone how to react. You're showing someone what's affecting your heart, right? And when you show somebody what's affecting your heart, then they get the choice to act powerfully and respond in a way that says, I feel you, that you're important to me. So if I say what's going on inside of me and you just go, well, then guess what? You don't care about me, and it's time for us to find a different solution. If you're in a marriage, that doesn't mean divorce. That means you need to have to dig in on some things and ask yourself, why are you giving yourself permission to be so disrespectful and dishonorable? But for most of us, in most of our relationships, in building our businesses and connect with people at jobs or wherever we are in our families, it's really learning how to respond in a way that protects the connection so people feel safe. If I've done something to hurt Shelly's feelings, she needs to feel safe in saying, this is how I feel. And I need to be able to say, I see you. I understand you. I'm sorry. Thank you for having the courage to share it with me so I can process and how I can make sure that I handle things differently in the future. Oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Because what do we want to do when someone says, oh, you did this or that? We want to justify. We want to make an excuse. And that is not the key. It's not like, I feel you, I understand you, thank you for the courage to tell me. However, this is why I did it. Blah, 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 blah. No, 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 no. No justifications, no excuses. I hear you, I understand you. Clearly that wasn't my heart. Clearly that wasn't my intention. However, I seem to have forgotten how you feel when I do certain things. And I should know better because you're important to me. I've been studying you. I've been paying attention to you. And for some reason, I forgot for a minute. Will you forgive me? This is the key. When you show what's going on inside of you, you're giving someone else the opportunity to respond powerfully. Oh my gosh. Now here's the problem. Here's the challenge, okay? When you do this, when someone's powerless, they think they can attack you. When they attack you, you say, whoa, 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 time. Not going to participate in anything but powerful conversation. If you can't stay on the high side, I'm not doing this. I care for you. You're important to me. I can see that you're hurt. However, we need to find a solution or take a break. One way or the other, I'm not going into the powerless realm of name calling and yelling. I'm not going to do it. Even though I have. Even though I have. And I've done that mistake a million times. This is my commitment. This is what I'm working. This is the grind. This is the breakthrough. That I am going to be transparent. And when someone's transparent with me, I'm going to show honor and love and respect to that. I'm not going to justify. I'm not going to come up with excuses. I am not going to partner with the spirit of fear and anger. There is no fear in love. Perfect love casts out fear, right? Because fear has to do with punishment. And the one who fears is not made perfect in love. What does that mean? That means that if we partner with fear, we haven't been made perfect in love, which means we're still operating with that spirit of fear, trying to control people with abandonment, with withdrawal, with names, with blaming, with bullying, with being loudest, biggest. You're going to have to learn how to be powerful through love, through protecting relationship. You have to learn to be powerful by responding, not reacting. You learn to be powerful by understanding what they're saying without justifying. These are the keys to having massive breakthrough. There is a war raging, and it's between fear and love. And you get to choose. You get to approach every situation that happens knowing that you too could fall in that same pit. That you too could make the same mistake, so therefore I have empathy. And we're going to address the behavior from a place of reconciliation, not condemnation. We're all about restoring and redeeming and raising you up to be great, because if I don't, I just send your problem downstream and someone else gets the bad news. I'm not going to do it. Buck stops with me. I'm going to respond, and respond. And either you're going to leave or you're going to change. But I am not going anywhere. And that's the beauty of the pillars of a culture of honor, that we are committed to these relationships. Guys, you're going to have tons of people in your life that are big, powerful leaders, mentors, and people that are part of whatever you're developing in your organization. You have to learn how to respond versus react. You can't expect people to submit to you all the time and say, well, whatever you say, I'll do it. Leaders are going to ask two very important questions. Number one, whatever you're teaching me, are you doing it? And number two, what's the value in doing it? If you cannot say, I'm doing it, if you're going to say, well, you need to do it, but I don't because I'm in a different situation, more than likely that's garbage. It's got to be, I'm doing it and have done it, and this is the value to you in doing it. We cannot lead with an iron fist. We cannot lead with fear. We cannot lead with condemnation. We cannot lead with, it's my way or the highway. We cannot lead with control. It doesn't work. As soon as someone gets really successful and big and significant, you know what they're going to do? Get the frick out of Dodge. They're going to leave. They're going to run just like maybe you did your own household when you hit 18, 19, 20. Like, I'm out. I'm over these rules. I'm over this condemnation. I'm over this fear monger. I'm over probations and all this nonsense. I'm out. And that's what happens to a lot of people, is they're just over it. So it doesn't work, guys. Love is the only thing that works. And learning how to approach people from the perspective of, I understand. I understand. What are we going to do? How are we going to overcome this? What are we going to do? Not blame, not pass it off. Own it and find a solution to restore the greatness. You're amazing people. There's nothing you can't do. But you cannot partner with fear and expect to expand love. It's just not going to happen. So I'm excited for you guys to dig in, partner with the right one, partner with love. Love in the center of everything. It does not make you a softie. It does not make you a little pansy. In fact, it makes you incredibly strong, because you're not going to use anger and bitterness and powerful words and macho and bravado and withdrawal and disconnection and hiding and I'm going to go work 40 hours in a row. No. I'm so powerful. I'm staying right here until we lovingly find a solution to what's going on. That is how you build a massive organization of people that love and respect you, of people that you love and respect. What's our motto? Sometimes a student, sometimes a teacher, but always the friend. That is how you partner with the spirit of love. All right, guys, I hope it helps out. I'm super excited about this series. I hope it's working well for you. A little bit shorter lesson tonight, but pretty power packed. Go back and study a few times. I will look forward to seeing you on unit number 4. All right, guys, let's just go out there and make a huge impact in this world.